Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. The village here is also fantastic. The weather is fresh. And maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Kipchumba Murkomen was yesterday humiliated in Baringo. Kipchumba Murkomen was heckled and he was actually shouted down and forced out of a podium. Kipchumba Murkomen was the chief guest during one of the football tournaments down there. But what shocked Kenyans was the shout of Ruto must go. And I've seen Kipchumba Murkomen and William Ruto's allies trying to suggest that the Ruto must go was not intended for the president, but it was intended for a gentleman who is a football official down there called Kenneth Ruto. The truth of the matter is that Kipchumba Murkomen was shouted down. He left the podium. The truth of the matter is that the residents there were also shouting, Ruto must go. So the question is, why would the residents of Baringo shout down Kipchumba Murkomen? Why would they sing or shout, Ruto must go? That's what I want us to look in this video. Because remember, I've always told you that it's just a matter of time. And a revolution is actually going to be witnessed in this country. The truth of the matter is that 1 week ago, I think, was it the other weekend, William Ruto was in Bomet. His cabinet secretary, Davis Chirchir, was shouted down. Yesterday, Kipchumba Murkomen was shouted down. You see, even if they are trying to suggest that the Ruto in question was not William Ruto, the fact that Kipchumba Murkomen, a cabinet secretary, was forced out of a podium is something which is dangerous. And for me, William Ruto and his team should be worried about three things. Number one, there is a perception that is now coming out that the government of William Ruto is actually losing the ground. And that's why the heckling is not good for him. He was heckled in, the CS was heckled in Bomet. William Ruto was heckled in Mombasa. You've seen what happened the other day in Kirinyaga. Even yesterday, the kind of crowd he was addressing in Kahawa West, William Ruto was given cold reception in Kikuyu town. Generally, there's the perception that is now growing that William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza are losing ground. Number two, there's also what is called the spiral effect. It's going to even be more. People are going to be emboldened. You see, you start by shouting Ruto in Mount Kenya. It gains traction. It goes to another place, gains traction. It goes to the Rift Valley. It gains traction in Bomet. Then now Baringo are now getting it. The next time you'll be surprised that even in Eldoret, William Ruto will be heckled. So he should be worried about the spiral effect. And lastly, William Ruto should also be worried about the possibility of a revolution. This is how revolution always begins. It begins in a small way like this. People get more emboldened, and by the time you will realize, it will already be late. I want you guys to pay very close attention and observe something in this clip, which happened yesterday in Baringo, and tell me if the Ruto these guys are referring to is an official of a football official, or they were referring to William Ruto. And then, of course, there are several questions which Kenyans are asking. If it was not about William Ruto, then why would they target Kipchumba Murkomen? Because this event was also sponsored by Kipchumba Murkomen.
wakati unaofaa. Sasa tutawatangazia wakati ambayo tutakuja kurudia mchezo na tuendelee.
Now, be the judge there. And for me, this analysis is based on the fact that Kipchumba Murkomen was heckled, not about Ruto must go. I don't want to care about the Ruto guy they were referring to, because for me, I know of only 2 Rutos, or maybe 3 Rutos now. I know of William Ruto, the president. I know I know Ruto, the president. I know Ruto, the former governor of Bomet, and the other Ruto I know is the other William Ruto, the Kenya Ports Authority MD. So I don't want to care about this other Ruto. My focus is why the residents there actually heckled Kipchumba Murkomen, and Murkomen was not able to actually contend them. Because if it was about this other Ruto, in my view, Kipchumba Murkomen would have easily intervened. But let us not get into that. Why would these people heckle and shout down Kipchumba Murkomen? Number one, there is anger. And that anger in Kenyans is actually boiling. And it's about to reach boiling point. The truth of the matter is that the expectation of those who voted for this government was so high. And these guys are now disappointed by the performance of the government. That is the honest truth. And because they are disappointed and they are angry, that anger is about to reach a boiling point. They're just waiting for a trigger. In Baringo, they got the trigger. In Bomet, they got the trigger. In Mombasa, they got the trigger. I can assure you, very soon, that trigger is about to explode. And William Ruto will find it very rough. And if even not William Ruto, I can assure you, William Ruto's cabinet secretaries are going to find it very rough, because Kenyans are actually angry. The other day, I saw one of William Ruto's key supporters complaining about the cabinet secretaries. So the truth of the matter is that it's about to explode, and it's going to explode on these people. Number 2, if you ask me, there is serious disconnect between William Ruto's cabinet secretaries, or senior government officials for that matter, in Kenya Kwanza, and the people. That disconnect is what we are witnessing. The question is, for example, you know, I'm a football fan. I'm a former football player. That's the fact. And one thing I know is that if you sponsor a tournament, the way I'm going to sponsor another one, there is no way you can be shouted down, even if the teams are better. There is no way you can be shouted down. So why would they shout down Kipchumba Murkomen? It means there is a disconnect, because if you sponsor something and these guys can still shout you down even before you give them their prize, it means there's a disconnect. They really don't need that prize money, that award, which means clearly there is a disconnect between the voters and William Ruto cabinet. So for me, one thing William Ruto's cabinet and senior government officials need to do is that they need to come down from the ivory tower and try and listen to the cries of Kenyans. Failure to do that, I can assure you, it's just a matter of time, and it's going to explode. Number 3 is the cost of living. You know, as much as you want to say that the cost of unga has come down, people are harvesting. But these same people, they don't have money in their pocket. You promised to put money in their pockets. These same people cannot afford basic commodities. A kg of sugar alone is now over 200 bob. Uru left it, I think, at 140. You go to the supermarket with 1,000 bob. You can't even get basic things. Then you see a cabinet secretary coming with a chopper, with high-end vehicles. You see the belts they are putting on, the watches they are putting on, then you wonder. So the cost of living has actually overwhelmed majority of Kenyans. So these Kenyans, they're angry. In fact, someone was telling me the other day that nowadays, hata ukikanyaga mguu ya mtu by mistake kwa line, you get a slap. So it means Kenyans are currently very angry. I mean, just a small provocation, they go mad. So that's the fact, the cost of living. Number 4, there's a growing rebellion against Kenya Kwanza government. And that is something that should worry Kenya Kwanza. They might hide, but I think very soon they're going to run out of where to hide. The fact is there's a growing rebellion against Kenya Kwanza government, and it's gaining momentum. The fact that, you see, the other day when William Ruto went to Bomet, Kipchumba Murkomen was not there. And if you read the comments online, it's like these guys really wanted Kipchumba Murkomen. If Kipchumba Murkomen had gone there, probably he would not have been allowed to speak. Why do you think so? The truth is, in the Rift Valley,